Hey everybody, it is December 11th, 2025, and I am doing an album I definitely have changed my opinion on. Strange Highways. I gotta figure out how to get that stupid reflection off. Whatever. If you've seen me talk about Strange Highways in the past, it has not been pretty. I have blasted this album. And I have this in that box set too. I think it's the exact same one. I bought this album because this version is a record store right now. It's just a Rocktober or whatever it is. I had I had bought the later year Dio albums box set, which started with Angry Machines, and then I had the other albums just on their own. Like, well, the only one I'm missing is Strange Highway, so I bought that thing. And I hated having to do it because I couldn't stand the album. I have it on CD, same thing. Just had to have all the Dio stuff. Then I have that box set CD too. But yeah. So little background of my history with Strange Highways. This will be the first time I ever talk in a positive light about this album. I have blasted this album left and right. Because it's not as I love more melodic Dio that we got in Holy Diver, Last in Line, and on a lot of Lock Up the Wolves. Even some really great standout tracks in Sacred Heart and Dream Evil. This is really that mid-tempo Dio, which it's not my preference. And this absolutely stays with me. I don't like this band. I don't like this lineup. I love Vinny. I love Vinny. Love Ronnie. And Jeff Pilson's great in Dokken and it's, I guess, other projects. I don't like Tracy G at all. And I don't think that Jeff Pilson really worked in Dio. Just wasn't a good fit. Nothing against him personally, nothing against his playing. I don't like him in Dio. It's me. So that was always there playing a role. When I first heard this album, what does this come out? 95 or something? Oh my, these papers. When does this come out? It says 2006. 94. So it's amongst the grunge garbage. It's amongst the, here, let's all try to be Nirvana and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam. It didn't fit. We had our Carnival of Souls that was garbage. We had Osmosis, which was garbage. We had all these albums that sucked because they tried to be what was relevant at the time. And I threw that in this category. A couple of months ago, I've always wanted to like everything from all our bands. And maybe after Ozzy died, it really, really sank in. This is it. We're not getting anything else. Wendy just did an interview with, whatever the guy's name is from Smashing Pumpkins, and she did say it looks like there's almost like an album's worth of stuff in the archives. So we may get something from Ronnie. But besides that Elektra single, who knows? So this is it. And I think after Ozzy died, that really, really hit home with me. So I just kind of made this decision. I'm going to try to go and listen to some of these albums that I've always disliked with a little bit more of, open mind, I guess. Now, I want to stand firm with something before I even go a second further. I've always used the term rose-colored glasses, and I'm sticking by that too, because this album definitely falls into the realm of people who say, I always loved this album, I always loved this album, I always loved this album, and I call BS on that. You didn't, because this album would have done much better. You didn't, because so many people didn't even know Dio was still making albums at this point. I think we look back on things and we want to have that. We want to have that fondness, and that's great. But I do not believe the people that albums like this and albums like The Eternal Idol, they say, I always loved it. Some did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that some didn't. Some did. Not at the numbers that, you go on people's channels and, everybody and their brother, oh, I love this album. I love this album. You talk to people. I love this album. I always love this album. Putting comments, in reaction to things. I always love this album. Again, some people did. I'm not saying that everybody didn't. I don't buy it, though. Could people have changed their mind like me? Absolutely. But I will always start off for saying, for 30 years, I couldn't stand that album. Thought it sucked. And again, I don't like this Dio lineup. I don't like this Tracy G guy. Jeff Pilson, I'm fine with. I care less either way. Ronnie and Vinny, I love. But I would have loved to have had Rowan back in the band. And Jimmy Bain back in the band. It kills me that after Dream Evil, we did not, there were no more. You couldn't get Vinny and Jimmy back at the same time for an album. It kills me that happened. That was the case. So, and I don't like this cover. I think this cover sucks. I think it's a stupid cover. I love the Dio logo on this. I love that purple. I think that's the Dio logo on this is great. I don't like just like the regular type of Strange Highways. So there's that. So this, I start to, a couple of months ago, again, it had to be after, I'm just thinking about this now. Had to be after Ozzy dies. I just say, I got to start giving some of these albums more of a try. And I start with Eternal Idol. And I listen to it. And again, I never really cared for Eternal Idol. And for a lot of people I knew growing up who were older than me, that was it. They didn't even get to Eternal Idol. After Born Again, the hardcore people after Born Again, that was it. And all I remember hearing is, oh, that Eternal Idol, I listened to that once. It sucked. Threw the tape out my window. Stuff like that. And I listened to it. I got the CD. I got the CD, when I was a kid. Never liked it. So I'm going to try. I'm really, really, really going to try. So I kind of hunkered down and just listened to it over and over and over and over, and it did grow on me. I don't think it's one of the best Sabbath albums by any means. But I don't hate it anymore. I don't know how often I'll listen to Eternal Idol, maybe once a month or so, but that's better than once every 10 years. Or whenever I was going to do some kind of review where I was like, all right, I got to listen to Eternal Idol now because I'm ranking the Sabbath albums. So that grew on me. Did the same thing with this album because, and I chose Eternal Idol because there are a lot of people that love that album. And I'm like, all right, maybe I am missing it. So yeah, okay, I definitely picked up on something. I'm waiting for Born Again. I tried with Born Again a few times. Born Again's going nowhere with me. I do think for me it's the mix. I think that album sounds like shit. I just think it really does sound like Sabbath was walking down the street and saw a garage band. They're like, hey, can we record an album in your garage? It sounds terrible. I've talked about that a million times. I'm not going to go back to it. So I'm like, all right, man, Dio. Strange Highways. That's the one everybody seems to say is a great album that I don't like. Listen to it over and over and over. And some of these songs, and one of them is funny because I blasted one of them multiple times that I actually love now. Like, man, these are good. This is good. A lot of it's catchy. It's not all the mid-tempo stuff. He is melodic, not nearly as melodic as he is with Holy Diver and Last Line, but they're definitely, it's not as grungy or industrial or whatever crap you want to call it. Now, I did do the review of Angry Machines. I think Angry Machines is a lost cause for me. I'm upstairs doing a video, girls. I think Angry Machines they're coming home from school. I think Angry Machines is an absolute Dead Issue. I will try more, but I'm probably gonna move on to Magica because I don't really like that one either. See if I like that. But this one, it grew on me, and I really, really, really do like this album. I remember driving around in the car with Madison at one point, like a year ago, trying to listen to this album, and we were both just like, "This is crap! God, this album sucks." They're singing some of the songs now because I played it so much. All right, let's rank this. Oh, and I want to dedicate this video to he's dubbed himself the Barefoot YouTuber. My buddy Ralph over at the Almost Human channel, because this is one of the albums he's always loved. In fact, I sent this in. I'm pretty sure I sent this in originally to him for him to do as a suck versus suck. And he was like, "This album doesn't suck. I really like this album." And I was kind of shocked because he's the first person that I've known where I haven't seen it as a comment or whatnot that says, "No, I really do like this album. This album doesn't suck." And if it wasn't for that and Eternal Idol, if it wasn't for... I hold Ralph's opinion in very high regard. And he was a big part of the reason why I chose those albums to start with. I'm like, Ralph is awesome. He's got... His taste in music is very along mine. And if he likes these albums, there's something to it. So, Ralph, this videos for you. I will, if I don't forget, I will put the link to his channel in the description because he's awesome. All right, let's see here. We're going to rank this guy. And man, it's funny because some things are so different. All right, I will say this album is bottom heavy. Side 2 of this album for me is the better side. Not to say the first side's bad, but you're going to see higher scores on side 2. The first one, Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost, I'm not going to lie, I don't like it. I don't like the use. I know. You say whatever you want. Again, I'm not Mr. Ultra Catholic, but I don't like especially the Holy Ghost use. I just don't. But putting all that aside, it's a 3. It's a good song. I don't think it's one of the standout ones from the album, but it is definitely... They shut the door? I shut the door. It's a 3. It's a decent song, but I just don't. You can, if you want to rail me in the comments, all you want, you can. But I'm not a big fan of that at all. The next one is Firehead, and I used to blast this song. I still think it's a stupid title. I still think Firehead is dumb, but man, it's a catchy song. I caught myself many times walking around work singing this song. Firehead is 5. Firehead is pretty awesome. I love that song now. The next one is Strange Highways. It's the centerpiece, the title piece. It's good. It's a 3. I don't think it's great. It's not one, again, it's not, none of them I turn off. But it's an average song. It's good. This one's really, a lot more of the mid-tempo stuff. And, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I'll talk about this at the end. The next one is where this album really kicks into high gear for me. Strange Highways is a 3. Hollywood Black is a 5. That song rules. It is just a fast rocker. It is unbelievable. Something clicked with that song. I'm like, this song is awesome. Hollywood Black is a total 5. Evolution, I like the verses more than when he gets to the chorus. I think the chorus is a little bit anticlimactic, but still a great song. It is a 4. The next one is Pain. Again, this is one of the, I guess, weaker ones. It's good. It's not one I would pass over, but it's a 3. I don't think it's great. It's an average song. Here's where we start going. One Foot in the Grave. I mean, that is a jam. That is just an absolute jam. 5. I love One Foot in the Grave. Followed up by another 5 with Give Her the Gun. This is a great song. That is probably, Give Her the Gun may be, that one and Hollywood Black were probably the two that hit me where I'm like, in the beginning, where I'm like, these are really good. I don't know what I was thinking. Next one is another great song. Again, not a perfect song, but it's a 4. Blood from a Stone is absolutely a 4. I think I said Give Her the Gun's a 5. Blood from a Stone is a great song. It is a 4. The next two are the two that remind me the most of classic Dio, of Last in Line, Holy Diver, Sacred Heart, if you will. Here's to You. I love that song. I absolutely, absolutely love that song. It gets a tiny bit anticlimactic. That's why I give it a 4. It is not a 5. It is a 4, but it is a great song. I think I said Blood from a Stone is 4 too. And then we end off on an unbelievably awesome song. Bring Down the Rain is a 5. You average them all up, it's 4.1, and the album ends up with is a 4, which is great. It's definitely not a 5. It's not a Last in Line is a 5. This is not a 5. And this is a major improvement because 3 months ago it would have been this album would have been a 1. So now this is also a controversial album because this is where it's right after he leaves Dia, or he leaves Black Sabbath. You know, you have that fight between him and Tony and Geezer over playing Ozfest, or the reunion, whatever the hell it was supposed to be. But I believe it was at Ozfest. Now, okay. When you look at Wikipedia, it talks about Hollywood Black as being demoed by Black Sabbath. I do remember vividly, and this may be another reason why I didn't like this album, because I was definitely Team Sabbath on this one. I vividly remember on more than one occasion Tony Iommi saying multiple songs from this album were taken from ideas that were being played around with Black Sabbath, not just Hollywood Black. I gotta be honest. A lot of people say this is a follow-up to Dehumanizer. I agree with that. That being said, I think there may have been a little bit of lending of music from the Sabbath sessions to this one. I'm just saying it. I don't know. I have no proof of this. My opinion, if you had to ask, is it more than one song than Hollywood Black that could have possibly come from Sabbath sessions? Yeah, definitely. I mean, Strange Highways in itself. Firehead. There's just a... Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely talk. You'd never hear something like Bring Down the Rain or Here's to You. But Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost, yeah. I get to hit Evolution, Pain. Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't know, again. Wendy, don't sue me because it's just my opinion. I have no idea, no evidence. But either way, I am glad that I have another Dio album that I love. You know, I don't know where this would come now where I rank them. This is probably my post Lock Up the Wolves. This is probably my favorite album. It beats Killing the Dragon and Master of the Moon, which I always have said are more the traditional Dio albums and have been higher on my rank. But I think this one beats them. But we'll see. I'll do a Dio ranking at some point in the future. Can't do it all. I'll run out of things to do. All right, let me know what you think. Do you like this album? Did you always like this album? Was this an album that you loved from day one, or is it one that grew on you? Do you hate the album? Did you always hate the album? Do you hate the album? Let me know. All right, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you.